Good afternoon. No? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to everybody at the JSE and those on the teleconference. Thank you for joining us today. This is obviously the first kickoff session in terms of the ITaC technical working groups for the year. And as the service hotline did state, the main focus for today, I will give you an idea of the various events that we're looking to have this year. It is not all of the events, it's just some of them that we've already scheduled. General project status update, and then Kim will take us through the equity market enhancements, which are being introduced as part of the ITaC upgrade, a summary of the changes and the impacts to the gateways, and a very high-level project timeline. These are the dates that we have put in the calendar for the technical working groups. I'm not going to run through them, it's really just for your information. We are repeating today's presentation in Cape Town on the 10th of March, and really that's because of the functionality that's impacting the market. We decided it would be a good thing for us to just walk them through the slides that we have up today. We have scheduled 2 additional Cape Town working groups, and again we will use those dates as the need arises. At the moment they're in the calendar. As we get closer to each of these dates, we'll issue a service hotline confirming an agenda and what the topics are that we would cover. The JSE market communication sessions, these are not yet confirmed, but they are in the diary. First one being on the 5th of April. And the market com sessions are the sessions that we give you general JSE updates across all of the services, not just ITaC. Okay, we spoke about a software provider showcase. We're looking to schedule this. As you are aware, the main impact, one of the main impacts for all of the derivatives markets is that we will no longer be providing a Neutron front end. And we have engaged with the software providers, and they are keen to come and have a showcase day at the JSE where they can explain to you what they have on offer. We're looking to schedule this somewhere in May, June. We would like to give them enough time once we've published the clearing specs to then be able to, give you a better idea of the deal management and clearing functionality that they will offer. So at this stage, it's on the cards for May or June. It is a very busy schedule in the calendar. And as soon as we've engaged with the software providers, finalized the setup, we'll come back to you. We are busy debating whether we do it over 2 days or 1 day. The preference is sort of 1 day. We feel that if we do it over 2 days, it might just drag it out. But if you do have any comments or suggestions, we would really be open to your comments and your suggestions. So please mail us at ITaC if you do have any comments on it. And as I say, it's really for the market to engage directly with the software providers. We will be just facilitated at the JSE, but it's up to them to engage and make available to you what they have on offer. Okay, general update in terms of the project ITaC. So we have got equity market enhancements, which are additional scope, which Kim will walk you through today. The projects 1B and 1C, we are progressing on track. We are finalizing all of the scope for those releases as well with our various providers being Sonova and Millennium. The first draft of the trading specifications, in case you missed them, they were issued in December. The team is busy working on a second update, and Kim will give you details on that. We are on track to issue the first draft of the clearing specifications, hopefully end of Q1, beginning of Q2. So watch the space. Again, we will publish a service hotline. We are making good progress on internal JSE systems, as well as the testing and the integration testing has started for some of our services in terms of the ITaC stuff. We are looking to schedule key focused sessions for the clearing members, probably 3 times this year. We'll have sessions with the CSDPs, and I'm looking to have a session with the telecommunications providers, specifically around the bandwidths and specifically around the focus of the derivatives markets. The equity guys are very familiar with the multicast and how it works. We want to try and make sure that the telcos are informed and briefed as to the JSE requirements before clients start knocking on their door. So we would like to engage with them and start getting their account managers who deal with the clients to come and sit in a room with us so that we can explain to them what ITaC's about and the kinds of demands that you're going to be placing on them. As soon as those dates are finalized, we'll also let you guys know when they are. We are looking to schedule a trip or a visit to clients around the new functionality somewhere in April, around the TradeTech visit. TradeTech, I think, is on the 12th and 13th of April. So we'll probably look to use that week as well to meet with a few clients in London. We also have reserved a fortnightly slot in the JSE team diaries. It's on a Thursday at 11 o'clock. We've been using them for one-on-one sessions with clients. And it's really just so that I have a regular slot that the team knows they have to be available. If you would like us to meet with you, drop an email to ITaC and we will schedule a slot for you. At the moment, it's only every 2 weeks. If we get such a huge demand, we will make it a weekly slot. But at this stage, it's on a Thursday. I have included, just for reference, the standard diagrams that we have for ITaC, and I'm now going to hand over to Kim.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sandra. As Sandra mentioned, my name is Kim. I'm from the trading team within the Trading and Market Services division of the JSE. What I'm going to do today is just briefly give you an overview of what the equity market enhancements are for this year's upgrade. And then I'll also just go through what the functionality is, the associated impacts to the gateways, as well as the messages, which will include the whole of 1A upgrade for this year. Please bear with me. I'm a little bit nervous today. Okay, so if we just go through the equity market enhancements, for obviously in preparation for ITaC Project 1A, we'll be doing an upgrade of the trading platform for this year. And in addition to that, it will include equity market enhancements for the actual functionality to our trading platform and for our clients and markets. Obviously, this is in line with enhancing our trading platform as well as market and client requests, and just getting new functionality out there and getting the market involved. The first one I'll go through is the central order book cross. The second is pegged orders, which is hidden pegged orders. And the third is the end of day volume auction call session. What goes hand in hand with the central order book cross is that we'll be introducing the closing price cross CPX session for trading in segments ZA02 and ZA03 as well. Okay, if we go to the central order book cross functionality that we'll be introducing, this is going to be where the trading engine will facilitate a single-sided cross trade. We'll be introducing a new order type for cross orders and a new trade type called XTs, and this will be on the central order book. It's basically it's going to be within a single firm, and where it's going to be a named internal cross within that member firm. A single message will be required with the buyer and seller details of the order, similar to a single-sided reported trade message. Important to note is that this will be supported on the native trading gateway only. It will also only be available during the the continuous trading period session. Hidden orders will not be allowed for this order type, and the price must be within the visible best bid offer spread. Also important to note is that only limit orders with time in force of day will be allowed for the cross orders, and they will not trigger a volatility auction call session at all. What we will be introducing is an extended statistics message, which will include the following statistics for ATs and UTs only. This will include the number of trades, value and volume traded, the VWAP, as well as the high-low price of the day. Also very important to note, though, even though we're having the ATs and UTs in the extended message only, we will be publishing XTs via the market data gateways, and these will be clearly identified. Okay. The next one I'll be going through is the pegged orders functionality, or hidden pegged orders functionality. Generally, pegged orders are non-visible orders that allow for improved execution of large orders at prices that are relative to the best executable spread of the instrument. This will obviously be changing the current hidden order functionality that we have available and in place at the moment. But the idea is to obviously enhance that functionality that we have. The processes and rules will still be very, very similar, just obviously slightly enhanced. How will this functionality work? Orders that are greater than the minimum reserve size, or MRS, can be pegged to three different kinds, which is the midpoint of best bid and offer, which is BBO, as well as best bid or best offer. It is important to remember that it will be mandatory to specify a minimum execution size or MES for all pegged orders. The MES will always has to be greater than or equal to the MRS. Participants will be able to set a hard limit on a pegged order. Obviously, when the pegged price reaches this hard limit, the order will move into an inactive status and will not be eligible for execution. Just in addition to that, the pegged orders functionality will also only be supported on the native gateway, and ultimately the current hidden order functionality will be replaced by this hidden pegged order functionality. At the end, we'll have a session if anybody has some questions, and my esteemed trading team will be here to help answer if need be. Okay, if we move over to the third item on the list, which is the end of day volume auction, we'll basically be introducing a new trading session to facilitate this volume auction. And what this volume auction will allow for introduce is the non-visible uncrossing of large orders after the close of the CPX session. There will be a new time in force validity introduced, which will allow for GDX. A new trade subtype named VT will be used to publish this bulk trade message. GDX orders have to be large in size, as the minimum reserve size or the MRS will be validated as well. Important to note, time priority will be maintained during the session. GDX orders can be entered and managed until the end of the CPX session. And this new trading session that we'll be introducing will actually have a duration. It is envisaged that this will approximately be 5 minutes or so. Obviously, we are consulting with the market to see what the requirement is, what would be best for the selecting this time. And we definitely appreciate any input that anyone has into this as well. Important to note that no auction information will be disseminated during this time. Orders carried forward from other sessions can participate if they have opted in. Also, the MES or minimum execution size will be ignored for pegged orders that have opted in for the EOD volume auction call. And then in addition to that, eligible pegged orders will be injected into the GDX container at the start of the CPX session. Okay. What I'll take you through now is just a summary in relation to the enhancements that I've been through now, the three that we'll be introducing in terms of each of the gateways and what the impacts will be on a high level. For the central order book cross enhancement, there'll be no impact to fixed trading gateway. To the native gateway, we'll obviously be introducing a new message for the central order book cross. New fields will be added as well to the execution report message. For the post-trade gateway, additional fields will be added to the trade capture report messages. For drop copy, new fields as well to execution report. And then for the market data gateway, new enumerations to be able to identify this cross trade. On the pegged orders or hidden pegged orders functionality, as I said, it'll only be supported on the native gateway, where a new field will be introduced for this new order message. And then both on the post-trade and drop copy gateway, the execution report will have additional enumerations added to the existing fields. For the end of day volume auction, new fields will be introduced to the new order message as well. And in order to support the new TIF or time in force that we are introducing for GDX, we'll need to have a new time qualifier on the native trading gateway. When it comes to post-trade and the drop copy gateway for the end of day volume auction, we will be introducing the new trade subtype as well as the trading session, since we'll be introducing a new trading session as part of the functionality. And then lastly, on the market data gateway, the single auction trade message will be introduced, as well as new enumerations.
Yeah, the first one is just around the new order cross. I see that you guys are pushing it through the native gateway, but you specify that it's sort of like a TCR. Just want to understand why not use the post-trade gateway for that. That's one of the questions. I don't know if you want to go ahead and answer that.
Bringing my backup.
So if we push it to the post-trade gateway, it won't go through the central order book. So post-trade gateway will go on off-book trades. Native gateway hits the on-book, and we want them to be on order book cross trades that are not big enough to be off-book trades. Hence.
Okay, and then the purpose of this is, I assume, for book over trades.
Yeah, it's similar to sort of the next step after we've introduced the exclude hidden limit order functionality, where guys were trying to do they were getting hit, and it just actually caused a bit of a messy settling then, and you haven't actually crossed with the guy that you wanted to and so forth. So yes, it's leading up to do that. Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So then will the exclude hidden limit functionality still be there, or are you going to deprecate that functionality?
It'll still be there. With further upgrades or so, we can look at if it is being used or utilized, if the guys do want to use it at all. This really only ensures that the cross trade will go through. The exclude hidden limit can still be there if you decide not to actually execute against the hidden limit order for whatever reason you feel like you actually only want to hit the order book, the visible order book. It's something that's there. To take it away is probably more of an effort than to just leave it there. It's more choice at the moment.
Cool. Okay, stay there, don't run away. Just around CPX and introducing it onto ZA02 and 03, can you maybe give some background, or why you decided to introduce it to those segments?
So we've seen it's quite useful actually in the ZA1 market, where we've introduced it, where the logic was it will be used quite sort of without saying, because it's a very liquid market, and being able to trade at the close is a good functionality to offer, which rather than having guys trade throughout the day at a VWAP trying to hit the closing price, now you get the option to actually execute it given volume. It's worked. It hasn't caused us any issues and so forth, and we thought increase the functionality to all the other ZA2 and 3. Gives clients an extra 5 minutes, which is probably the period we'll go for, to just trade at the closing price again, phone some clients up and say, I have this price, do you want to execute? Just an extra sort of extension of our offerability already.
Okay, cool. And then I think if you just go back to the previous slide.
This one?
Tell me, that new auction period for the hidden orders, how long do you expect that to be?
So
duration-wise.
The duration we've envisaged for now will be around 5 minutes.
Okay.
We're obviously doing some market consultation as well to deem what is the appropriate time and what client requests are as well.
And it'll use the same type of uncrossing algorithm that is in place for all the visible orders?
No.
No, it'll be different because it's a sort of, for lack of better word, dark auction.
Yes.
It's not visible to the market. You won't actually know what's in there. It was looked at actually uncrossing it immediately after the CPX session, but we've introduced a time period for order management and clients to actually enter a few more orders over 5 minutes, and then there'll be an uncrossing of at the closing price, and it's literally like a continuous, it's an auction, and then it uncrosses at the prices. If there's volume on the buy and volume on the sell, it'll hit. Yeah.
Cool. I'll stop now. TJ's giving me big eyes.
Any others?
The uncrossing, hi, sorry, my name is TJ. The uncrossing of the volume auction, there's going to be 2 steps to it. One would be looking at the what's the word I'm looking for? GDX orders, which are submitted specifically for that particular auction. They will first execute against the visible orders in the lead book, which were left over from the normal closing auction and the CPX section. Okay, the idea is to incentivize guys to be on the book and to give them the opportunity to execute in case there was not enough liquidity in the lead market. So there's two steps to it. It's not your normal volume maximizing algorithm that you actually run during the closing auction. Okay, so we'll try to publish some of the additional details when we issue out the specs or when you update volume 00 to make sure that everyone understands how it actually works with examples to actually show people how you're going to implement it. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so I'm just going to go through each of the gateways and then highlight all the impacts and changes to each of those and all of the messages included as well. And bearing in mind this is for the EME or equity market enhancements as well as the whole 1A upgrade that we'll be going through for 2016. For the native trading gateway, which we'll start with, on the new order cross message, there's a change or a new message that will be introduced for the cross order itself. As mentioned, this will be very similar to the single-sided off-book message structure. And that'll include the buy-sell details as well as the trader ID, limit price, as well as the order quantity. On the new order message, we have a series of changes, and that's obviously to include pegged and pegged limit orders. So we'll be adding new values in the order type field for the GDX, time in force for GDX or the volume auction on cross. We'll be adding values in there as well. Also to cater for the pegged orders with a limit. We'll need to have the stop price there that'll be used as the hard limit of these pegged orders. For the execution instruction field, we'll be adding new values there for the EOD volume auction on cross, as well as a new field on the order subtype for peg to mid, peg to bid, or best offer. Just on the native trading gateway continued, on the order cancel or replace request message, we also have a series of changes for new values added in the order type field, as well as time in force again for GDX. Same thing for the pegged orders hard limit, as well as the order subtype to cater for the pegged order limits, as well as the volume auction and cross. Any questions there? Okay. And then lastly, on the native trading gateway, on the execution report, we have updates to the container field, which will be where new values will be added for the pegged container, as well as the end of day auction on cross. There'll be a new value for the execution instruction field once again. And then important as well on the new fields for the cross ID as well as cross type on the cross orders. You can read the details there if you'd like for the unique ID on each. If we move over to the fixed trading gateway, important to note on the new secondary client order ID, that we'll be introducing. It's a non-mandatory change. This will be assigned by the party which originates the order and can be used to include an additional as a unique additional identifier. For the new time in force, on the order time in force message, we'll be introducing or allowing for GDX to be added there. In the new order single message, we'll be adding new values to some of the tags, which includes the trading session for the volume auction, as well as for the execution instruction and new enumerations that we'll be adding for the trading session, as well as for GDX. On the execution report message, we'll also be adding a new value for the tag for execution instruction to allow for the volume auction uncross. On the MICH market data feed, very important to note in general, for the MICH changes, there'll be one combined MICH message for all markets. Also this is to obviously cater for ITaC as a whole. Important to note though, for 1A, all derivatives applicable updates will be blank on the market data feed. For the extended stats message that we'll be introducing for the central order book cross, we'll have a new message type there to disseminate the high price, low price, VWAP, volume, turnover, and number of trades. In the snapshot complete message, we'll be adding and updating values there for the trading status. In the order book clear message, there will be a slight change in the sequence of fields in that the book type will move to the end of the message and will have a new value. In the trade message for the central order book cross, we will be adding a new field called flags. In the auction trade message, there will also be a new value added to the auction type field. And this will be used to identify the actual trade at the end of the volume auction on cross. In the recovery trade message, there'll be a new value added for the auction type field, as well as a new field called flags to cater for the cross orders as well. If we go over to drop copy gateway, also very important to note is the secondary client order ID field, and this will be a change to all messages within drop copy. As said before, it is non-mandatory. Then we'll be updating the trading session ID for that particular tag for the new enumerations that we'll be adding for volume on cross for GDX, and then as well as the new value in the tags for execution instruction once again. And we'll be adding new values for the order type as well as cross ID and cross type to cater for the new functionality. Also for the peg price type. If we go to the fast market data feed, the first message that will be changing is the security status message. That will be updated to include the end of day volume auction. The market data snapshot as well as the incremental refresh will also have updates to the values for the end of day auction call, as well as in the trade condition for the new value VU. We'll also be updating the trade subtype for the XT for cross trades and then VT for the end of day volume auction trade. If we go then to the post-trade gateway, in the trade capture report, we'll have a number of changes. There'll be, again, the update for the trading session sub-ID to allow for end-of-day auction, as well as cross-ID and cross-type for the cross trades. And then we'll be updating the trade subtype as well, again, to include XT and VT for cross trades and end-of-day volume auction trade. If there are no questions on that, I'll just give you a highlight of the timeline that we have for Project 1A, which is the equity market upgrade. Most of you know that we've sent out the API documents they were issued in December last year. We will be issuing the final API documents at the end of February, so that takes us to next week, Monday. So you can expect to receive those then. Please note the connectivity document will be updated, specifying the bandwidth requirements, amongst others, for CTS as well as production. The CTS environment will be made available at the beginning of April 2016, and this will enable the market to do some connectivity testing. Please note, however, we will be bringing CTS down for a period of about 2 weeks during May. And then it will be made available once again in late May 2016, and then it will then have the new equity market enhancement functionality available for testing. When we go to the dress rehearsals, we'll be scheduling 3 mandatory dress rehearsals for Project 1A, and these we envisage will commence in August 2016. And in brackets, you'll see there's an optional 4th dress rehearsal available. We'll obviously communicate all of these dates in due course. Conformance has to be completed before the first dress rehearsal takes place. Internal technical integration testing has started and is well on track. For Project one go live we've scheduled for the end of Q3 or the beginning of Q4 this year. And just to note that a more detailed project timeline will be made available to all clients at the end of March. For project 1B and C, which is for the equity derivatives market and currency derivatives markets, we envisage dress rehearsals for these projects to commence in early 2017. And the go live date around Q2, Q3 2017, with 1C 2 months later, sorry, 1B go live for Q2, Q3, and then 1C to follow 2 months later. If the testing does progress well, we may revise these dates in due course. And then obviously with project 2 for the commodity derivatives, interest rate derivatives and bond market, planning for these will only commence for this project in late 2016. So we'll communicate as much as we can when we can. That's all from my side. Are there any further questions on any of the updates or 1A upgrade? Please feel free to send them to ITaC@jse.co.za. Thank you.
Control. If I'm lying here, will you take me home? Could you take care of a broken soul? Will you hold me now? Or will you take me home? 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 Hold a gun to my head, count 1, 2, 3. If it helps me walk away, then it's what I need. Every minute gets easier the more you talk to me. You rationalize my darkest thoughts, yeah, set them free. Came to you with a broken faith, gave me more than a hand to hold. Caught before I hit the ground. Tell me I'm safe, you got me now. Would you take the wheel if I lose control? If I'm lying here, will you take me home? Could you take care of a broken soul? Or will you hold me now? Or will you take me home? 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 You said space will make it better and time will make it heal. I won't be lost forever and soon I wouldn't feel like I'm haunted or falling. You say space will make it better and time will make it heal. I won't be lost forever and soon I wouldn't feel like I'm haunted or falling. You say space will make it better and time will make it heal. I won't be lost forever and soon I wouldn't feel like I'm haunted or falling. Would you take the wheel if I lose control? If I'm lying here, will you take me home? Could you take care of a broken soul? Or will you hold me now? Or will you take me home? 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 Oh, will you You gotta help me, losing my mind. Keep getting the feeling you wanna leave this all behind. Thought we were going strong.